Hey there, and welcome. Have you ever stopped to wonder what makes a great story? Well, great. It's not some kind of magic, It's a craft. Every single story you love, whether it's a blockbuster movie or a classic book, is built using a really specific set of tools. And today, we're going to open up that toolkit and see what's inside.
So, just for a second, think about your absolute favorite story. What makes it stick with you? Is it the characters? That one shocking twist? The world you got totally lost in? Whatever it is, that feeling, that deep connection, that's exactly what we're going to pull apart today.
All right, let's crack open this toolkit. First, we'll look through the narrator's lens, the eye of the story. Then, we'll check out the characters in motion, who are really the story's heartbeat. After that, we'll explore the world they're living in. And finally, we'll learn how to decode the secret messages the author leaves behind.
First up, the narrator. You can think of the narrator as the camera operator for the whole movie. The choices they make, where they point the camera, who they follow, what they zoom in on, determines everything you see and how you see it.
Now this sounds super simple, right? The person telling the story. But this is probably the single biggest choice a writer has to make. The voice they choose, who it is, and just as importantly, what it knows. That changes absolutely everything about the experience.
So it really all boils down to perspective. Are we inside a character's head, hearing their thoughts and seeing the world through their eyes with I and we? That's a first-person narrator, and it gives us this really intimate, personal view. Or are we watching from the outside as an observer, using he, she, or they? That's a third-person narrator, which usually gives us a broader, more detached picture of what's going on.
But not all of these outside narrators are created equal. You've got the omniscient or all-knowing narrator who's like a god. They can hop into anyone's mind at any time. Then there's the limited narrator, who sticks pretty close to the shoulder of just one or maybe a few characters. And finally, you have the objective narrator. This one is like a fly on the wall. It just reports what's seen and heard with no idea what anyone is thinking or feeling.
Okay, but this is where things get really, really cool. What happens if the person telling you the story can't be trusted? That's the unreliable narrator. Their version of events is warped. Maybe they're lying. Maybe they're just confused. And it forces us, the reader, to become a detective, to question everything we're being told. It's an amazing tool for creating suspense and mystery.
So we've got our storyteller, but who are they actually talking about? Let's grab the next tool from our kit, the characters. These are the engines, the very heartbeat that pushes the whole narrative forward. So how do we understand them?
Well, the first big question you should always ask is, does this character change? A dynamic character goes through some kind of major internal transformation. Think of Ebenezer Scrooge going from a greedy miser to a generous soul. But a static character, on the other hand, ends the story pretty much the same way they started. Think of Sherlock Holmes. His genius is a constant, and that's kind of the whole point of his character.
The second question is all about depth. Is the character round or flat? Round characters are complex, they're messy, they're full of surprises and contradictions, just like real people. These are almost always our main characters. Flat characters are more one-dimensional. They might have a single defining trait, like the loyal sidekick or the grumpy boss, and they're there to serve a specific function in the story.
And this is where it all comes together. See, you can mix and match these ideas. You can have a really complex, round character who never fundamentally changes their worldview. And you can also have a simple, flat character who has this one shocking moment of transformation. Each one of these four combinations serves a totally different purpose in building the story.
Okay, so we've got our camera operator and we've got our actors. Now we need a stage to put them on. And the setting, the world of the story, is so much more than just a pretty backdrop. It's an active player in the game.
You can think of the setting as having three layers. First, there's the historical layer, which tells us when we are. This shapes all the rules and social norms. Then you have the geographical layer, which tells us where we are, a bustling city, a quiet countryside. But it's that third layer, the physical setting, the immediate time and place, that has this incredible power over our emotions.
And this is absolutely key. A story that opens in a dark, creepy basement at midnight feels completely different than one that starts on a sunny beach, right? The physical setting can create tension or joy or fear before a single character even says a word. It's a direct line to our emotions.
All right, time for the last tray in our storyteller's toolkit. Let's talk about the hidden meanings. The best stories always operate on more than one level, using a kind of secret language of symbols and motifs to get at the deeper ideas.
So what's a symbol? It's basically anything, an object, a person, a place that stands for something else. A dove isn't just a bird, it's a symbol of peace. These little things add incredible layers of meaning, and they invite us to look beyond the surface of what's happening.
Now, not all symbols are the same. Some are universal, like the Red Cross, which means help pretty much anywhere in the world. Others are conventional, meaning they're understood within a specific culture, like how the Reds was a nickname for the Korean people during the 2002 World Cup. And some are literary, meaning the symbol was invented just for that specific story, and you have to figure it out as you go.
Now, let's talk about a symbol's close cousin, the motif. The biggest difference here is repetition. When an image or a sound or an idea keeps showing up again and again and again, the author is basically taking out a highlighter and telling you, hey, pay attention to this. This is really, really important.
So here's the easiest way to tell them apart. A symbol can just pop up one time to represent a bigger idea. But for something to be a motif, it has to repeat. That repetition is what gives it power and helps it build one of the story's major themes. Repetition is everything for a motif.
So you see the narrator's lens, the moving characters, the world they live in, and the secret language of symbols. None of these tools work by themselves. They all have to lock together, working in harmony to create that single, powerful, and totally unforgettable narrative experience.
And that's the real question, isn't it? The next time you pick up a book or turn on a movie, you've got the toolkit. You can look under the hood and see the machinery working. You won't just see what is happening, you'll understand how the storyteller is making you feel it. So, what are you going to discover?